everyone, welcome back. In today's video we'll be making these cute mini fabric covered frames, and you only need basic supplies. And how fun will these look in a junk journal? I'm going to show you how to make them. So what do you need? Very basic supplies. So fabric, whatever bits you've got and whatever style you want to make your journal in. So if you're doing a rustic one, something like that. If you're doing a very spring-like, you could use something like this. Some card. You can use scrapbook paper. You're going to cover it all, so it can be some scrapbook paper that you're not going to use. I've got loads of these that I've not used, and all you do is you cut them into strips. Now these are 1/2 inch, or I think it's 12 centimeters, and doesn't matter how long they are, but you can vary this to however big you want your frames. You're also going to need some glue, fabric glue. If you don't have any, you can use double-sided tape if you prefer, if you don't want to get all messy. And that's about it. That's it. How it's going to be nice and simple. Okay, so I'm going to use these bits that I've already cut, and I'm going to make a nice grungy one. Surprise, surprise. Because obviously, you know, that's my main style. I do vary off occasionally, but this is my main one. And I'm loving using this burlap at the moment. So I've made a few in that, so I'm not going to do another one, but it is really cool and it gives a really rustic effect. Right, I've cut it out of this green so that you can see what I'm doing. And all I do is decide on how big I would like my photo frame. So sometimes you can cover your whole page, or you can make little tiny ones, completely up to you. So I'm going to make quite a large one, I think. I quite like the big ones. And I'm going to cut one of these in half, roughly. Roughly. No exact measurements going on here at all. And I am going to use this because I've got it out. You don't need to. And I may cut these because they're going to be a bit lopsidedy big. So I'm not even going to measure, just chop off the end. So this is going to be my frame, and I like to make mine wonky. So you can make these perfectly straight, like this, and chop off whatever extras you've got. Or you can do them how I've done them, and quite wonky, which I sort of quite like. So you've got your pieces. All you do is you get your fabric. Let me grab my little scissors. So there's two ways you can do this. And the first way is to have all your frayed edges, which I know that most of us love, our little frays on our things. So you're not going to see the back. Doesn't matter what it is. This is just scrapbook paper. So you can have it like this, which you would just cut like a little snip. The width of your paper. This is going to be very frayed. And take off a few of them, because there's quite a few. There's a few little strands on there, isn't there? That's going to be fun to cut. Right, let's just take them off. So if you want the frayed look, you would just glue that straight down onto there, like that. And repeat for the others, okay? And that would give you this lovely frayed effect. If you want to be nice and neat, I'll show you what you could do is just fold them over. So again, I would probably, let me just cut this bit off here. Now there's slightly too much there, so I'm just going to trim this down slightly. Probably enough, like that. I might make another one out of the bits that I've cut off. and glue this down, and I will just cover all this with glue. Doesn't matter which way up you go, you're not going to see the back when my glue comes. Come on. Oh, honestly, these are so addictive to make. As you can see, I've made a few. And you can do them in any style you like. Whatever fabrics you've got, whatever journal you're making, you can make one of these to go in it. It's just, they're just so fun. Okay, so what I thought I'd done one like this, but obviously I didn't. I'm just not a very neat person. I like my edges to be raw. That's why. So fold one and then fold the other. You don't need to stick that down. You don't want glue on this side because sometimes it leaks through and we don't want that. So pop that on. You may need more glue, like there, because it's sticking to the fabric. So add a bit more glue just down the edge, and do that with all your pieces. Okay, and what I've done is I don't bother trying to trim the ends. I just cut them off like that. Obviously use scissors, it's a lot easier than using these little clipper things, but this is what I've got to hand. Make do with what you've got. Oh, there's not the edge of the paper. There it is. So that would be your first one. Need to glue that down a bit. So I'm going to carry on and just cover the rest, and I'll be back to show you, as if you can't guess, how to put them all together. Okay, so I've made my very neat ones here, and I've also, with the scraps, made some shabby looking ones. I've just glued them straight down and left all the frays, which I love. And the next thing is to just put them together. Guys, these are so fun to make. Just pop some glue on the top there. And do whatever you like on there. And now I do use, oops, she says, bending round, my little pegs to hold them down until they're set. Like that. Now I think I'll have this one a bit higher up, so I'll pop it there and clamp that. You don't need to, you can sit and hold them. It does hold like really fast. Where should we have it? I might have a little square one with long sticks. Sticks? Legs? I don't know. What are they called? What are they called? My little decorated pegs. And we're going to leave that one to dry. I'm going to do this one exactly the same. Luckily, I have 4 more pegs. And you can have these long ways, but I mean, to go in a journal, I would probably keep them this size. These were just using up the scraps, so this is a bit small. So I'm going to be quite careful and put it right on the edge, like that. This is going to be a tall, skinny little picture frame, but you know, you might have a little skinny photo you want to put in there, or some sort of embellishment. And we'll just pop this one on like this. And you can make them any size you like. You can do any size, any fabric. And we're just going to let them set for a minute. And once they're done, you can just decorate them up. Now, I will probably decorate mine with some scraps like this. I'll show you some of the ones closer up that I have done already while these are drying. Over there to dry, in the drying area. Okay, and I've kept all my scraps because, you know, they're going to be going in my Orts tin. So I'm going to keep them safe. So I'm going to give you a close-up of the ones that I've already made and decorated up. So you've seen these two, and you've seen the ones I've done at the beginning. These are all my grungy ones. This one, I'll come up close up, is just, again, just the fabric, exactly how I've made them. And then I've machine stitched some lace, grungy lace around the edge. My sewing machine needs tension sorting out, but I think it just looks really grungy. I might even get my vintage photo and make the cotton brown. I could put it the right way up. But super fun, and it can just go straight down onto your page with something behind. It could be a tuck spot. My hands are all yucky. So they're my grungy ones, but I did do a few pretty ones to show you can use all sorts. So this one I've finished. Maybe I may add something else, and as you can see, I've just put a picture from a magazine at the back, so you can just, that's easy peasy, and that would be a nice little tuck spot. It could go in the corner of your journal. Let's get this out, I'll show you on a page. So it could go here, and you could tuck a card in. So there's a few things you can do with them, even if you use them like this. You could even journal on the back, but it does look a bit messy, so I would stick it down. This one, I found this in my stash. That's a laminated flower, dried flower. I think fuchsia. Trying to frantically remember, and I've just decorated it up with a flower and some lace, and of course that again could be a little pocket. And this little cutie, little tiny one, and that's pink fabric, some lace, trim, and a little bow with a picture that I've just glued on the back. And again, you can just pop it in your journal. It can be a tuck, it can be a pocket. So cool. I'm loving them. Honestly, they're so fun to make, guys. So I'm just going to finish off one that I'm making for my journal, my, what do you call it? Mermaid journal that I'm making. This is one that I've done that when my sewing machine was actually working. And I've done like the blue fabric, and I've got some netting and gone around the outside. But what I want to do is I'm going to attach it onto there. I think I'm going to glue that down onto there, and then I'm going to cut around the outside, because I think it's going to look really cool as a big slide-in pocket. So when my glue works, I'm just going to glue. I could have sewn it all at the same time, but I didn't find the bit of foil until afterwards, and I don't really want to sew again. You don't need to sew at all. It's perfectly doable with just glue, as you can see by my frames there. And you can embellish them however you like. Just, right, I'm going to make sure it's quite flat. So this will be, it's flat, but it's wonky. There's a surprise. And I've got this bit of paper that is, oh, it's sticking now underneath because the glue's gone straight through. This is just some painted paper. And I thought it would look really cool if I sort of put this onto here as an edge. So I'm going to do that as well. Hopefully I think it'll fit better over this side. It's a bit flatter. I think like that. So I'm going to glue all the way up this one. And attach that down. Oop, put my head top on. Now I'll have to hold this because I've run out of pegs. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Are you going to give it a go? Honestly, you will get addicted. You will have loads of these. Right, I'm going to turn it up that way because the glue is seeping through and it's going on here. So we're going to turn that upside down, but that is going to go into my mermaid journal, and I think that will be really cool. So I'm going to put him on one side, and hopefully these are all dry now. Doesn't take very long. Now you can at this point decide to do some stitching on them. I don't think you can hand stitch, but you could run them round on your machine, or you can just glue. So I've got these bit of scraps. You know I love my scraps. I love my scraps. I don't really want fabric. I want a bit of lace. So, oh, you see, I like this one. And you can just decorate them up however you like. I don't know how I'm going to decorate them yet. I might do this one. I might add a little bit more lace onto the bottom, maybe here. Just to finish them off. Or you can just leave them like this. I might leave that one as it is, so that when you come to put it in your journal, you can then add the finishing touches. But it's nice to have a few all made up, ready to go. I've lost the bit I've just cut. Where did it go? That was weird. Oh, I didn't cut it. I thought I'd cut that. Oh dear. Yeah, I think it's time for a cup of coffee. So I've got loads more of the flowers on this one. There's not so many on there. So I could cover more of that. Like, I could just do some lace maybe down the side like this, grungy lace. I could get some doily flowers or some paper flowers and put them up here. I could do a ruffle up in the corner like this. But I might want to stitch. I think I might stitch. So I'm going to finish them off. Yeah, I think that might look. Oh, I could put some of these on. These little bits that I found that we cut off. We could just make a little. Maybe we put it down here, like a little nest down here. But I would stitch to that on, and I think that looks really nice. Is it just me? Is it just me, or does that look nice? I really don't know with this one. It's too neat for me. So I don't know whether to just cover it up. Definitely too neat for me. I might see what else I can find. So what I really want to do is like messing it all up. So make a little flower or something, maybe something like that. I don't know. I'm going to leave that one until I put it into a journal, and then I'll decorate it how I fancy at the time. But I hope you get some inspiration, and do let me know if this has been useful or interesting, you know, all the stuff, and if you're going to make any, because honestly it's very addictive. So make sure you've got an afternoon to spare, and I will see you all very soon, guys. Bye for now.